Okay, good evening. We will call the meeting to order. It is 6 o'clock. We'll begin by the pledge to the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will entertain nominations for chair, please.
I move to nominate Matt Everett for chair.
Second. Are there any other nominations for chair? Seeing none, nominations will cease. All those in favor of Matt Everett for chair? Those opposed? Those abstained?
All abstained.
That's 4-0-1.
Yes.
Who are now chair?
Okay, great, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Number 4 here, election of vice chair. Nominations on that. Nominate Lizzie again if she's willing.
Thank you.
Yeah, is there a second? I'll second. Motion and a second. Any other nominations? Any other discussion? All those in favor?
I'll abstain because we have ethics now.
Yeah. Perfect, thank you, appreciate it. Okay, number 5 here, review and approve the minutes of February 18th.
I was absent, so I can't.
Motion?
When you just a second.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? That's everybody.
I didn't vote.
Wait, Liz, you abstained? Number 6 here, review and approve the minutes of 2026 annual town meeting.
So moved.
Second, motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's everybody. Members reports. We'll start with Lindsay.
I don't know anything. No.
It's good to see decent turnout in town meeting, and the roads are getting horrible.
Yeah.
Nobody's fault, but do your complaints on
Well, Juggy? I'm good. I thought town meeting went good. I think Drew did a good job. I don't know what the number was for a turnout, but seemed pretty solid as far as people attending. I think it was done in record time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Mhm.
Kind of almost a joke though. I mean, no one even asked a question about
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I think we only had, 2 items that were different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall, but I think that's a good thing. I like it that everybody agrees. It's
Yeah.
putting it with it.
Yep.
Good.
And we also didn't have any of the votes for anything that were on the floor, that anything was like on the ballot. So like, I think that kind of streamlines that quite a bit because there isn't as much discussion that happens.
Okay, that's it for me. All right. Number 8 here, the town manager's report.
All right, town meeting, we had 185 ballots cast, at 41 more than last year, so it seemed like a slow day, but overall participation was above average there. And then your evening portion appeared to be slightly more than last year. We had 72 chairs, to give you some perspective as to where we were. So I think if you counted everybody that was in the room, you probably had closer to 60 or 65. But who you had actually voted was less than that. So again, better than last year. Last year was very low turnout across the board. Thank you to everybody who donated baked goods, bought baked goods, or just donated cash. That raised a little over $320 for the Veteran Scholarship Fund, former VFW fund. So that will beef up that award this spring. Copy of the newly adopted ethics ordinance is in your packets. You will want to become very familiar with it. It is something that will probably be included in any meeting that you have here. And it should be known by all boards and committees and members of the public. They have the opportunity to go link on things like this too. But this really sets forth the expectations for disclosure when we start talking about decisions. So, I'm not at a meeting. You don't have to abstain on something like that. We have your ability to go watch the meeting, things like that. It's really conflicts of interest and things like that that need to come out on the table. And if they're not, now this gives other board and committee members and members of the public the right to ask for that vote to determine, and that is then binding on one's ability to cast a vote or weigh in. So anyway, I printed 5 copies off of that, and I'm going to be providing them to all boards and committees as they meet coming up here. So after the election the other day, we had obviously a lot of write-ins because there were vacancies. I still have a handful of vacancies there. And if folks are interested, please get online to the town website under career and volunteer, or stop by the office and get a volunteer application. I have 2 seats on the budget committee, one on the planning board, 1 library trustee, and 1 sewer commissioner. Those are all vacant after folks accepted or declined positions. And those will all be for 1 year, serving until next town meeting. So it represents a decent chance for folks that maybe don't know or just want to try to get involved to do that. So, not to say that what those folks don't do is important, but the fairly light weight to lift, to participate in one of those committees, for a year. So, we encourage everybody, hopefully at your next meeting, we'll be talking about filling up the rest of these boards. I do have applications in for a lot of them already, so. The employee surveillance disclosure, we've been talking about that for a couple few meetings now. I have got that draft disclosure in place together, and we'll look at that probably in June, just ahead of the date that we have to release that to staff. But I think it's pretty cut and dry. We're not in violation of anything like that. There's no real special circumstances. It's just a matter of saying, this is what we are looking at, how we monitor you, primarily related to surveillance and computer agents. New Balance, I had a meeting with them yesterday, late in the day, about applying for congressional spending. That's like what we have for roads right now, but we're looking in best case scenario to serve as a vehicle to get money from the federal government, possibly to help with the building rehabilitation. So that could help with potential investment. Obviously, we wouldn't be the long-term holder of that, but there are interests that we have as a community in that building. And so we're going to look to that. They've offered us consulting services in developing this, so it's great. And we've already had connections with Senator Collins's office to facilitate all of this, which will be happening very quickly. It's open for, I think, 3 weeks that we need to get this in. So my goal is to have it out within a week, with letters of support from anybody that could be affected by it. And if taxpayers, residents, anybody wants to submit letters that support the rehabilitation of this facility for anything new, please feel free to write a letter, write a sentence with a signature or anything like that, and I will include it. Obviously, an empty building is not a great thing for Norridgewock or the region, and so redeveloping this in any capacity is a benefit to the community and the tax base. So as we find out more information, we'll share that out.
Is it primarily the roof? Like, I know that there was like the discussion about the roof being like a big cost. I mean, they were doing business in there. Is that like really what or is it just to completely reformat all of the inside to make it different use?
Yes, so you're in light manufacturing setup and some office space right now. That's really not conducive for anybody.
Yeah.
And then you've got a building that's been piecemealed together. You've got a 1900 section, you've got a 1930s or 40s section, a 50s section, and a newer section, and then some have been updated, some hasn't. They're boilers and cooling.
So it's like a
all
full
that stuff
kind of
is
breakdown and
ridiculous.
rearrangement,
Been
yeah.
maintained.
Okay.
So, you know, it's difficult, but it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how much money does it take you to get there and what the payoff will be for the developer. So
Yeah.
something like this helps expedite that or attract an investor and lessen that risk. So anyway, I'm going to continue to move on that in cooperation with a few other parties. Bigelow Hill paving and rehab project. Rehab is a small section of road that's wet. That they're gonna dig out some under drainage, and I believe, and move forward with that. Pre-bid meeting is mandatory. That's gonna be next Monday. And if everything goes well, bids will come in on the Thursday before, we'll review them, and then you'll look at those on April 1st, hoping that comes in within budget. Cost estimates put that at around 1 million to get that done. And so that is congressional directed spending funds that we are working
How
with.
long is that stretch of road?
A little over 2 miles, just over 2 miles. I'm hoping it comes in a lot less than that, but I can tell you it's not over engineered.
No.
Trust me, I did it.
The Associates isn't coming in and figuring out the streetlights for us or anything.
I didn't even think of calling them.
Jesus.
Next project. Maybe I get a discount on the airport if I bring them in to do some work.
Too early in this session,
All
I'm
right.
trying to cry.
Dam removal efforts, we've kind of touched on that. I think Jeff brought it up a couple meetings ago, what the heck's going on with it. Well, they're delayed. And they wanted to be in front of us by right now. And they are attributing their delay because of the early onset of winter and prolonged freezing. They're not able to get out of the water and get the data that they need from the river. So at this point in time, it's delayed, and they're hoping to get to you midsummer, which is not really peak time for public participation, but nonetheless a time to get in front of the board and the town. Meeting with cemetery management firm that offers software and support for mapping and data management. I had one the other day, and I had one today. I have another one on Friday, and this is a project that the cemetery committee's been talking about, I think, for 3 or 4 years now, and it's finally, I think we're gonna be able to pull the trigger on it. So that will be good to see that happen. First part KRDA, that's been the money lost there for a number of years. I think since 1999, about $500,000 of your tax dollars have gone out there, mine too. I think there's, anyway, we've been breaking even for the last couple of years, and it looks like now there's gonna be a slight increase in the assessment. We'll have a slight deficit. But I've asked for a meeting with the new executive director, so it'll be next Friday. Waste management is planned. They've asked if they can come before you, and so they will be at your next meeting, top of the agenda to give you the annual update, concerns or whatnot. So members of the public, if you have concerns or questions or whatnot, feel free to send them to me, send them to waste management, or come and participate there. And then our condolences to the Clark family. Marlene Clark, former owner of the sewer store, has passed away. Her services are tomorrow. The town has sent their condolences to the family. Will happen tomorrow. And yeah, unfortunate, but that was a couple that did a lot for this community quietly, and it was appreciated. So your slate of upcoming meetings are there. Your next one's not until next Thursday. And that will be the first meeting of the planning board's organizational meeting, and to talk about how we want to handle the proposed amendments to the subdivision ordinance. Because through the budget review process, one of the things that we heard from the budget committee was about that rec position, the economic parts of rec position from last year, and well, that's the same thing. You're just resending it back to us, and I maintained that it was substantively different this year than it was last year. I don't think that the subdivision amendment should sit idle. I think it's going to be confusing for people, and I almost believe that you should just put it back on the table again and hope for different result. I think people didn't understand. Folks reached out to say, well, you could have communicated this better. You should have worded the language differently on the ballot. We issued newsletters that went every door, direct mail. We posted on social media. We posted on the website. We held 8-ish public hearings here. It's really, really difficult to communicate more than that to folks that you just want to vote no on regulation. And by voting no, doesn't mean that we don't have a subdivision ordinance. It means that we didn't update our subdivision ordinance, which actually lessens the restrictions on it mostly, and then fully aligns us with state statute, which was really the important part. So now if you have a proposed subdivision, they're going to have to navigate our ordinance and state statute. The planning board's going to expect this. They're going to have to do the same thing to find out which the most restrictive aspect of governing document will prevail in that case. Super confusing. It's not my job to tell you how to vote or not, but it's an administrative nightmare for the town, knowing that there's a subdivision coming very soon, that we didn't align the state statute on that. So
sure. I wonder, and I know that Matt and I both, we looked at it, we're like, how is this not going? As much as we said, we do all of the due process, we put the things out there online, we put it, in the public forum. When it's on the ballot, to see what's actually written there, to have the expectation that people are going to do their due diligence before they show up, I think that's wishful thinking, not necessarily I know that there's only a limited amount of space on that ballot to kind of, bullet point what it is, but is there any way for us to maybe when we have something like that, that it's this what's yes means, this is what no means, just the most, crib notes, just basic, and another piece of paper that goes with people when we hand them their ballot, just in case they weren't paying attention or they remember that, but it's fuzzy and they don't know, just, we can't hand anything like that.
To display anything inside the voting area that would explain it.
and that's a no. All your materials have to be outside. And so once you go inside and you receive that ballot, that's it.
Yeah, so we can't have a yes vote is to bring what forward, or no vote is to do this,
On certain referendum questions you can, but on
Okay.
an ordinance referendum, state law says
huh?
it's specific. The exact language that you see that sounds funny.
Yeah.
is what we have. Still the ordinance entitled blank.
We'll just need to brainstorm and see what we.
Yeah. Cause it was like, I mean, like, I would have been, I was like, I don't know what's, I don't know how it's worded, cause I was like, why wouldn't they vote for it? And I was like, well, wait a minute, like, I feel like it was
I
kind of.
didn't understand it, I mean.
Yeah, well, right, it's hard, everybody
I
has.
mean, we made it and then I was more looking to see how it was written, you know, like,
I understand it's gonna be easier, they would have.
I believe so too. And if they knew the ethics only apply to us and not them, I think they would have voted for it as well.
yes,
I know it did pass, but the margin's scary.
yeah.
But the people do not like that word audience.
Yeah.
They don't like ethics,
So.
I mean, you know, so it's like,
You, I think that what the important takeaway is largely from, if you're gonna put something on a ballot. When somebody says amendments to an ordinance, it's already there. By voting it down, it's probably gonna leave you in a worse place.
yeah,
If you just get that traditional line with ordinance, that's new ordinance. And that maybe is what people thought they were voting on.
or maybe items like that moving forward, do we bring that into a town vote at the meeting? Is that maybe a better way to do that?
So in our discussions, I was very much against voting and stuff at the meeting. Because I feel that the true part of democracy is everyone getting an opportunity to vote. But it raises the question,
If you're voting for
is it
somebody you don't know.
uninformed vote a good
Yeah.
vote?
Nobody.
Or, so it's.
For those, like, I think if someone had asked a question, I think it would have been a different. Yeah.
Ballot.
With something like that, maybe that's what we do when there's like nuances to it, where it's, they could have questions.
So I think we'll have to schedule some time and kind of
Yeah,
look at what we want to do moving forward, so that we don't have this confusion. Because not everybody's us, not everybody has the time to get the information on this. It's hard to cook supper, do all this stuff,
Yeah.
and follow our meetings.
I think, you know, where I didn't like having it in the town meeting, the votes were things where it was like. You're voting that directly impacted like specific things, like whether it's like a fire thing, then you get people looking at you, I think that makes a, but with something like an ordinance, I feel like that's something that like. That could be discussed, and I think that if it would, people have been like, oh, that's what that, okay, and then maybe it's like the different types of things we ask, ones where you don't have like, how are you voting? Like, it's. Yeah.
At the end of it, we could probably put together a. Voter guide. A local voter guide, we can put it in with the newsletter and put in both sides, we have to start early, but. You know, we'd have to be neutral and lay out the, if you vote yes, this is what it is, if you vote no, this is what it is.
Yeah.
State does it, right?
Probably.
I think,
Just stay on it.
honestly, I mean, I need a cheat sheet for myself, like,
Yeah.
The way that your newsletters are. Timed, some of it's intentional, hits your tool, it hits November and it hits March. It's the June one that will be timed, but
Yeah.
Minimal cost, that's.
there's no cost to it because the newsletter will go ahead anyway.
Yeah.
So we don't wait.
Yeah.
No, we outsource it,
Oh,
yeah,
and then they send the direct mail.
yeah,
So.
especially ordinance, because there's so much information there, I think letting me know, be like, how it is now, this is bing, 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 and if we change it, it's gonna make it so you can't do X, Y, Z, but you can do A, B, C or something.
Yeah.
And I think that just like making it so there's 3 seconds of reading versus like, ugh, that's a lot of
Right.
paragraphs and like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. At least then we have people making the most like. Well, thought vote for it versus like, I'm leaving it blank or like, nope, or it's just, I'm feeling yesy today, or I'm feeling no-y today,
It's usually.
so.
Yeah.
Something to think about for future ones, like certain things that could be a little more, what does this really mean? I think maybe we do that then that way,
Good.
we're not gonna have our 25-minute meetings, so. That's the goal.
Right, moving forward. Discussion action on March 5th, general warrant.
I will
Five.
make a motion to approve general warrant number 5 in the amount of $59,472.59.
Motion and second, any discussion? Feel like I should know what the financial services is.
That's a credit card.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we get at Freightliner?
Truck repair, the majority of it is radiator repair.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the Paris Farmers Union, what is that for stuff for the
Liquid
field?
calcium for
Okay.
roads and
Right.
then trails.
And then the Stevens Electric and Pump Service?
It's a pump rebuild for sewer.
Okay.
The Pump costs. 13,000. A rebuild of them, yeah.
What, USA Blue Book, is that like a Kelly Blue Book type of thing that?
I wish.
that- what-
No, that is a sewer supply.
Oh.
Makes sense though.
If it was Kelly Blue Book, I paid it once and I'd be good for it.
Yeah.
It is largely sewer lab supplies and I think about half of that is a new crack cooker, an oven, but it cook their
A crack
sandwiches.
cooker, I like, yes,
You take your samples and you put them in.
Okay. yeah.
$1,300.
You need crack cookers,
Crack
crack cookers,
cookers.
you need it all, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Everybody?
Light bill month, that's.
Yeah, don't make that in.
No.
Number 10, you have
It'd be nice for that.
anything from the public? Oh, not everybody at once. Moving forward. Number 11 here, discussion action on issuance of fire unit 24 requests for proposals.
Do we have to make any motions on that, or do we?
You will, in
Oh, okay, but not with this to discuss it?
Well, traditionally, actually, we haven't. Traditionally, we've gone out to bids and then brought bids back to you, and then we've had a discussion about that. But I don't really, in this case, mind the added transparency. Because if you're a member of the public, and you wanna follow this issue, you wanna speak out in favor of it or against it, it's pretty hard when you don't even know that it's happening. So I don't mind the added level of transparency, it's great. And we've made a fundamental change in the spec. And so I don't like coming here and explaining that before we issue it. I think it's good public. So we do have a printed spec. I can see you're all looking at copies of it. The intent here is to replace our 20. I can't say 20, our 2000, 2001, I guess it is, Dodge 1-ton truck. It is old, it is tired, needs a replacement. The original idea, and I pitched this to you in the past, so I'm sitting here telling you that I was wrong. Our original idea was to reuse the aluminum body. We bought a new aluminum body because of rust, and we bought that in 2021, 2021. So the original idea was to reuse that and just buy a cabin chassis, okay? And the problem that I have with that is when you do that, you say, okay, this is what I have for a body, a service body. And it's the onus becomes on me, you, us, to go buy a truck that is gonna fit that. And when I say fit that, I mean all kinds of things, from cab to axle ratio, for mounting on the frame rails, from where's the fuel filler, all that stuff becomes, the onus becomes on me, on us, to not make a mistake. And so looking at that, color, matching the color, all kinds of things. I could probably give you a dozen things. Looking at that, we now feel like the best thing is to buy the truck with a new service body and sell the aluminum service body that we bought 5 years ago. I think it still has a pretty good value. I think the opportunity to make a mistake and squander some public money and buying the wrong truck, something that doesn't fit or whatever, I think that opportunity is too great. And I'm not really willing to take on the onus of trying to make a match. I think it is far better with public dollars to go to a dealership and say, I want this with these specifications, this service body, and the onus becomes on that dealer to give you what it is that you want. Right? And then you take what you have that's excess, in our case, an old truck that's worth something, but not zero, and a service body, and sell that separate, right? Just outright sell it as surplus town equipment. Will it cost a little bit more? Yes. Is the risk significantly down? Also, yes. And I think that's the appropriate thing to do. So we have changed our philosophy. We would like to go buy not just a cabin chassis, but have the dealer include a service body. So if you went to the dealer, you say, I want a service body, here's the specs of it, and it comes in as one package, and then the fit and the finish and all those things, the lights work, the trailer hitches, the the electric brakes, all those things, I don't have to own that. The fire department shouldn't be a DIY project, it really shouldn't, and. It's important when you're out there hauling a 15,000 pound trailer behind you, that you have the right thing to do that, and it's better to go to a reputable dealer and get it what it is that we need. So we have made that little bit of a shift in a new service body. I've had some individual discussions with some of you to explain that further. If you have any questions about the wheres and the whys on that, be glad to answer them. That aside, we put together this spec and I'm ready to go to dealers with it. And maybe even go this week. And we put a very short list of bullets in there of this is what it's gonna do. And it's gonna carry the firefighting skid that we have. It's got a certain gross vehicle weight rating that we have to have. We specify payload, tow rating that it has to have, crew cab, et cetera, all the things that we're looking for, right? And we're very specifically targeting Ford for a couple of reasons. One is frankly the aluminum body, and two is the state, and maybe the 1 and 2 are backwards, but the taking advantage of the state fleet discounts that we're entitled to as a municipality that Ford has. So we've put it out there. We've also provided a second list, a bullet list of here's some things that we'd like to consider, but we're not sure that the price point is the right value. So please quote them as options. So you'll see a second bulleted list there. We'd like to send that out to local dealers and get some prices back, and in a future meeting targeting, I think 2 meetings from now, we'll come back with a recommendation. Now, when we come back, we're going to say, here's a proposal from dealer A, here's one from B, et cetera. We will give you very specific what we think the town should buy. We will also at the very same time, so that there's again a complete transparency, there will be an additional list of items that we need. A dealer is not going to put lights, sirens, and radios on this. The dealer is not going to do the fire department graphics, right? And so we will bundle in some additional purchases, much like we did with the recent fire, and say we also need to buy this and this and this, and I'll put together a package for you and ask you to approve it. And before question comes up, because I think it will, the capital equipment account is where I'm asking that money to come from. And after town meeting on Monday, and Peter doing his part, and another item we're going to talk about tonight, I think we're going to be about $168,000 in that account. So I'm certainly not asking you to spend $168,000, but that's what the balance should be in that account. So we certainly have the money for this project this time. So I'd like to ask that you approve putting this out to bid, and knowing that in a couple of meetings you will be receiving bids and a fire department recommendation. You look like you might have a question.
Yeah, it's 3 meetings out. It'll be the second meeting.
Okay, I didn't look at the dates.
What's your walkaway price?
My walkaway price, like when is?
Sorry, blindsided, but
Is it, well, this is too much money, we can't afford to do this, which we.
not going to afford this. I'm saying, because we've just redrawn the whole playbook. And I think the previous plan allows us maybe better to live within means. This is obviously more ideal from a warranty perspective and everything
All
else.
those things, sure,
So
but a little more expensive, right?
Is it
So-
broken? Like, I mean, I know that it's like a 2000.
I can answer my question first.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Chair.
No, I'm a little bit. Ronnie asked me a similar question the other night, and I didn't give him a good answer. I don't understand completely the state bid process and how much that saves. I think that the truck is probably an $80,000 thing if Todd went out to the dealership and bought it for, for himself. That's what I think it is, and I know that there's probably 20,000 of additional things that we need for lights and sirens and radios and SCBA seats and graphics. So it's So right around 100,000 is what I'm thinking it's gonna be. But, go buy a new pickup and it'll shock you to death what the price is, so maybe my age is showing a little bit there. I don't know, but I'm thinking it's an $80,000 to the truck dealer-ish. And it's a 20 of additional, that's kind of where my head is. If I get shocked by a lot, then yeah, we'll have to reassess. But we feel like including a new body with the dealership is the right thing to do with public money and take all of that risk and DIY aspect out of it.
And I don't want to misspeak, but I also think that you have a significant body size. Need different now as per the body that's on unit 24 right now, I'm familiar, is quite tall.
The body that's on 24 now was a $20,000 body, and it was purchased specifically for the truck needs at the time, which included the jaws of life. And so it's very oversized for what the needs are today. And since then, we've gotten a new, $40,000. Stephen and Tabitha King bought us a new jaws of life. We actually donated jaws of life to the town of Athens. Right, get one on a grant, give one on a grant, right? It felt right. But we don't, the bottom line is we don't have the jaws on that truck anymore. The compartments are largely empty. I probably wouldn't advocate just selling it and buying a smaller one just for the sake of doing that. But since we're buying a new truck and you've got all the concerns about, the wiring, the hitch, the brakes, the color, the size, the fit, all gas, fuel. I think that's better in a dealer responsibility instead of Todd's night and weekend project. I don't really need that.
And you're looking at more of a stock body now too.
Correct.
Like this vehicle, this is
I think a very standard stock service. Not
it was about 20 for the body that we bought a couple of years ago.
about 5 years ago. It was.
What do you think you get for this one?
I get a lot of varying opinions on it. There's people that tell me that body's still worth $12,000.
Show me that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you, John. Show me the money.
It's.
Right.
You
Yeah, it's like we need that to be
take the body off the Dodge, which is unit 24. The truck itself really doesn't have much for value, but the truck with the body has fairly substantial value. It's a low mileage truck with the aluminum body. They kind of go hand in hand. So I do think it makes sense, being a utility body owner, and we all drive the road and you see the utility bodies and all their blinkers fast blink, right? None of them function correctly. That's because they did it themselves. When a dealer does it, they function correctly.
Yeah.
A warranty will come with this body, and when it doesn't work correctly, it's a call to the dealership. Not Todd.
I don't know.
Lights are fast blinking.
Right. So
I was a big fan of kid on the call.
Smithfield and I, they're a great friend and partner, town of Smithfield. So I love them to death, and if I need them, I will call them and they will be here in 5 minutes or less. But they just went through this exact thing. And they bought a cabin chassis from a local dealer. They bought a body from a different local dealer. And they're still fighting, getting it. The fit right, the finish right, the lighting and all those things. So I don't want to go through that. They're part of the reason why I said we should buy this as one package from the dealer and sell what we have.
Because they're just not universal.
If
How much
it's
the body
local,
costs?
because there's something
I've never
wrong with the
bought
truck,
one, but
but
it's-
it has to be
if the
replaced now.
Custom was 20,000
Yeah.
5 years ago. A body's probably 10 or 12, the standard service body.
Yeah,
10 or 12, is that fair?
I would say, yeah.
What is the mileage on the truck now? Like, are there things that are actively need to be repaired? I mean, I get that it's a 21, but if it's low mileage, I mean, we know you guys say,
It's an O1.
oh, I mean, it's 25, 24 years old, but if it's low mileage and we know that you guys maintain it, like, is anything, like, do we have big repair bills coming up now that we have to like pay for, or is it start when you, I mean,
There's two problems that it has. One is everything on it is wore out. It's running on a rebuilt transmission now. The steering is
Such.
the steering is the steering has been repaired and it's still not good. But the larger problem is that it's not designed or rated to haul the weight that we're hauling, both payload wise and trailer wise. We got a 15,000 pound trailer.
Which is the new
Why did we
trailer
buy
that's side
that
by side.
cab for 20 grand if it wasn't?
So it was prior to the purchase of the new truck. The new fire truck, which has largely replaced the duties of unit 24. So it kind of has a redefined purpose now, as will the new truck. It won't have the same, 24 was the go truck for the longest time, that was the primary use.
Yeah, and that's a fair point too, because once we have and the mileage is low, but they've been hard miles. It's not sized appropriately to haul the weight that we need to haul. We have to be very, very careful with it. Of course, we're always careful. But once we get a new crew cab where we can take 4 instead of 2, with the weight ratings and everything, that truck will go a lot more often once again, like it used to, and save a lot of miles on the $500,000 trucks. So we're gonna go back to EMS needs a couple people for a lift assist or whatever. We're going to go back to taking the essentially pickup, not pickup, but
Versus the new engine.
right, versus taking a fire engine. So we did this years ago. We got away from it because the truck got old, less reliable. You could only take 2 people, but we're gonna go back to that. Philosophy.
But currently, like Madison knows a lot. If you have the trailer behind unit 24, it's a lot to get up the hill to go to
Is
Madison.
this transmission gonna make it?
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
Okay. Well, I mean, for me, I'm thinking if it's got low miles and it's got some steering, we've got a transmission, do we have 5 grand we've got to dump into it and it can keep going? I mean,
How much money do you put into a 25-year-old truck?
well, I think if it's got low mileage, if you put 8 grand in and all the basic workings are there, it's a lot cheaper than 100 grand. That's
There's
just.
no amount of money you can put into it that makes it the right vehicle to haul that trailer
I
and
thought it's probably gonna be taller.
and the skid that's in the back.
So
It also skid.
And this is similar to the problems we face in our own lives with how much money do you put into a vehicle before you don't use it anymore. I can't say that one is right or one is wrong. I think this is what they felt was the best direction forward. And then I think it's will fall to us to decide where that price point is that we're not willing
Right.
to put in. If it's 150, then probably not. If we're skating under 100, maybe. I think we'll have to see where these numbers come in at. And then make that decision, whether we do try to buy a few more years out of that Dodge by putting money into it. Or keeping it until we do break something. And I don't have I'm slightly biased, I am on the fire department, and I won't vote.
Just, you know,
Still,
like I think we're in such like a, you know, in a toss away, and granted, it's not just a toss away, because we've had it for, you know, a couple of decades, but in the same sense of if some, you know. If you take care of something, which I know that they take meticulous care of everything, and we just replace things, I mean. It's nothing to say, I mean, if it starts and goes when you go, like, I mean. Do we? I don't know, I know for myself, like I fix it and you drive it till the wheels fall off, then you buy.
Lifespan.
Yeah, the problem with,
You've got to figure that.
the problem with driving it until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, well, no, I mean,
We
that was
can't
just
just
like.
bum around to work. We just can't. So we just
Safety things,
replaced,
obviously, but like not like.
we just replaced a 30-year-old fire truck. We're gonna talk about tonight, and I'm asking to replace a 25-year-old. Pickup for all intents and purposes. I don't think that's too much
Yeah.
of a request. That's.
so you just have to see where the numbers come in.
Yeah.
This is just to put it up to bid.
Yeah, just asking tonight, put it up to bid. That's right. Absolutely.
When Athens puts in this, is this for the truck there, the Athens?
Wait, just
Well,
wait.
I'm just wondering, like, if they think it's okay to drive, why are we so like, oh, it's good enough for them, but no.
Max. Go ahead.
Not a personal question, but we get about 1,000 people to watch this before I get up out of bed tomorrow morning.
Please comment.
We have a comment, but I'm gonna ask a question to the people. And it's only just a discussion, you oversold, I think, to me. We bought the last body. Because we needed more space. For antiquated tools. So then we went and spent 40 grand, and it was a grant, but we went and got new equipment. That didn't then require the body that we had just purchased. Then we went and we bought new equipment again. In the form of a side by side and trailer and accessories. And now we're gonna buy a truck. To haul the new equipment, so it seems like we're spending money to justify spending money. So how do we tell that and explain that to the taxpayers, that because we spent $75,000 or $80,000 on the side-by-side package, that now we need this new truck that wasn't imminent of purchase, but now it is.
A few things incorrect about that. The aluminum body that we bought in 2021 was not to replace one that wasn't big enough. We actually bought the body exactly the same size as the steel body that rusted out and fell on the ground. Okay, so.
Don't be offensive.
It needed replacement.
Yeah.
It had to be replaced. It had a rebuilt steel flooring DIY project, rebuilt the steel floor once. It rusted, so that was rusted and beyond repair, and you wouldn't put an inspection sticker on. So that's why we got the aluminum body. Why did we get it oversized to match the first body? Was because the jaws were on that truck. We've since moved the jaws and have a better arrangement for that. We don't need that size anymore. The truck has been on the capital list since before the side-by-side and trailer and all that project. That truck has been scheduled to be replaced for a long time. Because none of us driving a 25-year-old truck, right? So we are gonna we need to replace this truck, whether or not we have the trailer, whether or not we have the side-by-side and the 15,000 pounds of towing. That truck needs to be replaced. Since we do have a trailer, a side-by-side, thank you very much to Alice Emery and Somerset County, etc. We ought to have one big enough to haul.
Well, that's what pushes you up into that 450 instead of
Right.
250.
Right. It's a 450 or maybe it's a 550 because those are more common, might be actually cheaper, I don't know. That's why it says 450.
Thank you, because I think that's important information for
Sure.
the public to have,
Right.
to how it's presented and what we've done and why we're asking for it. We're asking for it. It's not because we're spending up.
So like I said, the old jaws, had a pump, had that big hose reel up above it. The new jaws are battery packs.
Handheld tools, yeah.
They're,
The heavy batteries, how you use them.
Yeah.
Right.
Heavy batteries, but they're, yeah, and those got relocated on our rescue truck, which is our brand new truck. And so now we don't need nearly as big of a body. I just don't think it's appropriate with public money to DIY a project together.
The body really
Hope
is the big
everything
thing.
comes up.
that's the.
The body is really, yeah.
If we're gonna do it, I think we definitely get it at a package deal. Doing it two different places is.
They're gonna hit each other again, it'll be them blaming
Yeah,
us,
the way you can.
us blaming them, and then your warranties gonna cover. But it may price us out, and we may have to make this choice.
Listen. I told you in 3 weeks or 3 meetings, we'll be back here asking to spend the money. Might not be.
Right.
It's gotta meet my test of reasonableness first. It's gotta meet his second before it even gets here, right? So. I'm just asking.
And your truck committee.
Fair. So it's really
A
3
new
levels.
truck committee, is that?
They have a committee that reviews all their.
I was like, I didn't know all this.
Yeah.
We don't have any problem with appointments.
Two questions. One, is there any grants that we can help purchase this with from anybody? And selling this other vehicle, is it gonna be a number that really can help lower the price on this? $5,000 sale, or is it gonna be 25?
So I'll go backwards, but the absolute plan would be to sell the vehicle that we have. The real value is in the body. You'd sell the truck for something, to Lindsay's point, it still runs. But the real value is in the body, and like Matt said, there's probably a bigger value in the combination.
Oh,
of the two, right?
Keep it.
And so we'll be wanting to put that up to public bid.
You can't sell it where you're talking about the other, you got a fire truck?
No, it's really not. It's no different than what you might have at a farm or something.
It's cheap little bit.
There's no pump, there's no fire truck nature to it. It's really, it says fire on the side, but it's a fire department vehicle, but it's fire truck in any nature. 10,000-12,000 maybe?
Yeah.
Because if you go bought that $20,000 body today, you would spend 45.
Yeah, that's scary, I mean, it's custom, so I'll get.
Yeah.
Cost over $100,000.
So. Yes, and my request when we do that would be to put that money right back into the equipment account, so essentially it does fund.
Don't fund it.
Yes, right, as is another item that we're gonna talk about tonight. Now the first one is there any grant? Generally, no, for fire trucks, there is one, they're hard to get. We got one in 2006, so. The next truck that we need to replace in 5 years or so was actually a federal grant, 95% grant. But that doesn't apply to a utility vehicle like this, it applies to fire. So there's that. So then you're stuck with going to, you know, your typical grant locations, Stephen and Tabitha King, or Gary Sinise, or some of these other firehouse subs, those kinds of things. We've made a decision to use those grant applications towards funding our boat. We need to replace our rescue boat, and we think that that's a sexier candidate for an organization to be able to get behind and say, hey, we don't fund that, than buying a truck. That's kind of boring. So we've kind of strategically said that by going after grants to fund a boat is it for the Norridgewock taxpayer, it's just a card game, right? But to have the grant fund be able to say we funded boat, firehouse is big on those, by the way. I've done a couple in the area. I think that's an easier yes on a grant than a truck. So, you know, we have to buy some things, let's buy the boring things, let the grant people buy the exciting things.
How Susie Collins, she knows that.
Right? Yeah, maybe we're super going.
Because you're restricting women's votes.
So again, tonight I'm just asking to go a bit.
So do you need a motion for us to, so moved?
Motion and a second, any other discussion? All those in favor? I am, but I should abstain because I'm a fireman. Ethically.
Does that require that?
I would,
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It makes you more comfortable.
it will make me more, I'm, like I said, I'm pretty. So.
So I have-
I'll stay.
Two more things for you tonight. You have now or other business. One's just more a comment than anything and maybe a little bit of feedback. But and then the other thing is we do have the town of Athens here.
Yeah.
Other business of that.
So we'll, right, bring
Bring
it
it
back.
back a little bit.
Yeah, do you need do we need a motion to bring them to the front or he can just go? I'm comfortable with you just go, so with that.
Okay, before I forget the third thing, let's do that first because it just takes a second. It's after town meeting.
That's one. They're done.
It's after town meeting, so it's time to update my 10-year capital plan and bring it and present it to the board. Would you like to do that again this year and when? That's a question, maybe that's a question for the agenda. No, I don't want to do it now, I don't have it done now.
Okay, no, yeah, 100%.
Schedule with Richard.
Yep.
I want you to see that and have an opportunity for comment, and it's great, your feedback when you say, you know, what about this, could we do this, could we, you know, spend $5,000 and get more. That's a great discussion, because there's many things on there, there's always big dollars on there.
Yeah.
But it's my way of making sure that you guys are never surprised about fire truck purpose.
Well, and I think too, that I think something that maybe like off, like Matt, you obviously have a much better understanding of like what they have there, how it gets used, what's important. And I think that that's like ownership should be like on me and some of the, like, I think that I've just gotta make a time when it works for me, like the other, just to understand like what, I mean, because for me, I'm just like, ooh, let's save some money and do this, but like, I don't understand the actual, so it's like, and I always feel like I'm treading that line, it's like, I'm not trying to like offend or question or anything like that, but like I also am like coming at it from just a mindset that has nothing to do with like the actual application. So like my ignorance is creating questions that maybe I wouldn't ask, but I feel like I probably should.
Keep in mind that my door is open and I'll do it at 11 o'clock at night. Here, anybody that wants to come by, go through a tour. It is extreme detail or 30,000 foot level, either one or somewhere in the middle. Be glad to take you through, show you everything we have, everything we do, what our plans are, and all. I'm always open for that. So please.
We just recently purchased a scanner.
Yeah,
And we actually can get it.
listening.
And listening to the calls you guys get and everybody else around, it's eye-opening.
Eye-opening.
If you go through and the times you do it. What you have,
Yeah, by the way, you didn't have your driveway plowed at 2 AM this morning.
I did not,
No, and neither did you.
I did not.
Wait for sign off, right?
Just so you know.
Come on, and see what's going on, like, is there something? I feel like I just don't understand because I don't, and I feel like I want a nickel and dime, it's like, is that really necessary? Because I don't understand what they're doing every day.
Right down the road from you there. 11:30. Okay, so let's move on. So this is other business.
You're gonna be here for the rest of the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we are gonna circle back to that point right there, under other business. Cause the board wants a little bit more of a discussion about that,
Okay.
and now we can pick up Athens. So we'll come back to that later. These people are here, if they don't wanna stay here all night, I don't want them to stay.
Well, listen,
Well, it's a good time, you always get back to his office, like, you just have to ask, you know what the drawer is.
so as you know, we just put a new fire truck into service. We got it on the road 2 weeks ago, a week ago, something like that. It's been on several calls. Got a few warranty punch list items, typical, and we've been going, service guy was there today cleaning up a couple of it. So anyway, we're all good there. So now we have our old engine 22, and I've been telling you, in fact, we changed language on the warrant to allow you, now you have the authority to sell it outright, as opposed to put it up a little bit. It still has value. And you asked me on one meeting some time ago, geez, what do you think you would buy? And I said, well, I'd put it on a website that specializes in fire vehicles, and I'd put 25 or 30,000 on it. You know, asking price. So a little bit of time went by, and I was down to a fire in Skowhegan, and I got the question asked, so when you get rid of engine 22? I said, about a week and a half. Now, that was an unexpected answer. They didn't realize we had a new one. Really, I think the town of Athens would be interested in that. I struck up a conversation, just for by way of introduction. We have Vanessa Lauji, who's fire chief, town of Athens, and we have Brad Bosworth, deputy fire chief, town of Athens. So, oh yeah, we'll cover it tonight. And lo and behold, they've come and they've looked at it a couple of times, and well, maybe that was St. Albans is the fire station. Maybe they did look at it inside of it and have made an offer. And so they made a written offer that Richard is, I think, included in your package. They initially offered a lower number, and I said, I need to get the pump tested and any repairs made. Because I'm not giving a pile of junk to a neighbor and then regret it the rest of my life. It's not. And frankly, if it went out to the public and Joe Blow in California bought it, they wouldn't have bought it without a pump test anyway. It's just a standard. You do not buy a fire truck without a pump test. Truck went down Friday, came back Monday or Tuesday, Monday. Passed the flow test, no problem. Failed the vacuum test in 4 or 5 areas, all in the valve seals. Because you need to be able to suck water up out of a pond. And in order to do that, the truck has to be able to hold vacuum. And if you've got all kinds of discharge valves and the leaking vacuum, they don't vacuum, they won't suck. So there needed to be 4 or 5 repairs there. We did the repairs. We had it winterized. Got a full report here. Got a total bill for the repairs, which is our responsibility of, I'll round it off, $1,740. Which is a little more than I had hoped, but doesn't shock me.
How much is the pump test? Is that included?
The pump test, yeah, well, if you went down and just did a pump test. And everything passed with flying colors, it's a flat $350 charge, but when there's a bunch of repairs to do. It all gets lumped into the labor. Comes out in a wash, so it's labor and parts and labor. I get the bill if anybody wants to see.
Yeah, time and material.
So yeah, so $1,740 for sake of argument. And their offer is at $22,000, as you see in the paper. Which allows us to clear the $20,000, which was kind of my threshold of, if we put it out for sale to the public, I wouldn't have taken any less than that number. We would add the hassle of listing it and following up and visitors and all that. And hey, this is a neighbor. This could end up in Norridgewock fighting a fire, and certainly does end up in Madison, Skowhegan, and I'll call it the middle grounds between us, riding cars with us, right? And it's useful to them, it's still got some years left in it. I'm asking you to accept their offer of $22,000 to take $1,740 out of that to pay this bill. I do not want this bill to hit my regular budget. I can't repair 4 fire trucks this year, right? And to put the balance in my equipment account for the next purchase. Which is exactly what I was saying, right, to you about, that's how we do this stuff. Put the money in the equipment account, it is there for the next time. Right, so that's what I'm at, that's the ask.
Okay.
They have seen it, it is up to the public works park outside. Over by the gas pumps, if you know where that is, so fuel pump. And we are done with it. There are a few items that we don't need, that we got new as part of our new truck. Some ladders, hard suction, radio, etc. That does us no good to strip off and keep and squirrel it away in storage. They wanted it, they can use it. We included that as part of it, and I think that's in there better. So that's my ask.
Yeah, did they let you guys take it for test then? Are you serious? Man, like. Oh, man, like you don't get to play with the ladders all ahead of time?
Yeah.
Are we gonna run over?
Yes.
All right, so I,
We sell it to them, 2,000 miles. And we don't know, yeah. But we can buy both.
okay, so I have a second. That,
Second, you're authorizing the sale for $22,000.
Town of Evans.
Is the Athens Fire Department separate from the town of Athens, or is it like?
It's municipality like you guys, it's.
Okay, so to sell it to the town of Athens, $22,000.
do we have to do a separate motion to dedicate the funds differently?
No, I'll dedicate the
Okay,
funds.
all right.
Right, so that.
All right, so we get a motion, we get the second.
Right, any further discussion?
The only thing on that sense, has there been any other interest in it?
No, nobody has approached.
How did you not
Zero,
let him test drive it?
That would be my question.
zero.
I'm all about not kind of.
But I haven't,
Yeah.
I haven't,
You crap, like this.
I wasn't prepared yet to advertise or talk about it. I just got hit up in a fire. Hey, that would be good for Athens.
Yeah.
So kind of for word is the balance there, I guess.
There's some better than $2,800 one.
Yeah, I mean, we've never sold a fire truck for a quarter or a third of this number, ever. Well, they're junk, but this one is not.
Probably not my place to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because we've done things like this in the past, and this seems to be best case scenario for everybody. With the next truck, I think it might be appropriate to come back here and ask if we could offer it first right to our mutual aid partners. And see if it's a benefit to those smaller communities that are out there where it doesn't necessarily serve our needs, but maybe that truck. And even if we don't get full market for it, if it's coming back to us in one way or another, it seems like the right and responsible thing to do.
I love it. I never would have thought of it.
But so maybe consider that, we send it out to the mutual aid partners with the next vehicle that we're talking about.
Is that much smaller than?
We're blessed, so. Something to think about when we talk about disposal of this one.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it.
We got a.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's all right.
You don't have, all those in favor?
Thank you. Thanks. So specifically. That transaction, you'll handle that with somebody from Athens.
Sure.
We've gathered up all of the, we've gathered up. Blocks.
You bring a credit card? We can Venmo.
We've gathered up blocks of all the manuals and things that go with it. That's easy for us, but what we wouldn't have necessarily is the title or whatever paperwork
Should have the title.
might exist here.
Yeah.
So
It's just no.
What are you looking at?
Richard is gonna be your chief.
We gotta see the selectmen, right?
Yeah, I just spoke with the selectman last night, I told her that we were coming tonight and such forth, so she's ready to, she knows that I'll be going back. To her, they have the town meeting, their selectmen meeting every Tuesday, so.
Great.
I will speak to her.
I have your email address through Todd, so
Yeah.
I'll reach out so you've got all my contact information.
I was gonna say she can grab a card.
See you later.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for fire department.
Grab the truck on your way home.
There you go.
All right, moving forward here, number 12, discussion action on credit card policy.
So this is another thing from the audit. We had credit cards. It used to just be that I had a credit card, largely inconvenient for me to be the only credit card. And then what we saw is some of our vendors like Walmart, Community Card, those things started to disappear. They don't offer them anymore. So I went to our Elon Financials that we just paid earlier, and now pretty much any head of a department, not department, head of a department has now a card. We don't have a formal policy in place that says you're gonna bring the receipt back, you're not allowed to do this, you have to do tax exempt where it's possible and reasonable and things like that. So that's what this does. And then, you know, it just sets it up, and I think that it's something I should have had before I issued cards, and it's completely my fault. My recommendation or my request is that you would approve this, and I will issue it as a condition of our holder.
I'll vote to accept as written.
Motion on second, any discussion?
Well, thanks for putting it together. I mean, it's always better to have more guidelines than
Yeah.
winging it. Makes it a little bit easier to follow stuff, for sure. So I appreciate you putting the time for that.
Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? It's everybody. Number 13, discussion action on corrected quitclaim deed.
This is a motion to sign, please. At the last meeting, we released the parcels to lot 30. It needs to be lot 30-3. Because it's got a dwelling on it or whatnot. It's important that we fix that for it, so. The motion to sign corrected quitclaim deed.
Motion, second, any discussion, seeing none, all those in favor? It's everybody. And number 14, review select board policies and procedures, contact information, communication plans.
All right, so this is on the agenda every year, and pretty much it's the same thing, you have. Relatively open line of communication with me unless you abuse it. If you abuse it, you'll be the first one in 10 years to have done so. And when it's going to time, I will let the chair know, and the chair will contact you, and all communication will go through him. If you have an issue with me, you need to come to me. If you're uncomfortable coming to me, then you go to the chair. If you have an issue with the chair, you go to the vice chair. If you have an issue with the vice chair, you go to the chair. Those issues.
Sorry, Matt.
Complaints against one another are a matter of public record and are not entitled to be sealed. Complaints may are, unless I have that protection. I have all of your contact information. If that changes throughout the course of the year, please provide me with updated contact information. And remember that you are subject to Freedom of Access Act laws, and the things that are contained within your email or cell phone related to town business are subject to request. And I will be your point of contact for that. So please be mindful of that in the transaction of town business. It's always easier and cleaner to pick up the phone and place a call than it is to start with text, emails, or handwritten notes.
With that said, if you have phone numbers for all of us on the board, do you mind email it that you pay with that?
Oh, yeah,
Charles.
that's funny, because I probably don't.
Because I don't think I have everybody's.
I don't have
See,
any-
we get sent out stuff like, we're not all on it, so.
Yeah.
And everybody texts. So
Yes.
that's also handy.
Yeah, so if you.
I'm gonna check a text way faster than my emails.
No, that's good.
Everybody, because I've
Yeah.
said that a couple of times, I'm like if I'm not gonna make it, it's last minute, I texted Richard because I didn't have your number.
Yeah, he has to, I come to my house when he's mad at you to tell us.
That makes sense.
We never have three of us, because that would be.
No, that's a good idea.
Yeah. That's it for that.
Okay, number 15 here, discussion action on financial policies.
First is your payroll warrant policy, which allows one member of the board to authorize the release of payroll on a weekly basis. In the past, it's customarily been the chair and an alternate person. In the last several years, it's been the chair and Lindsay. You may appoint two people at your pleasure.
Make a motion to keep us safe, man.
Yeah, you don't have.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm
Same. It's fine. Second, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
I'll keep eating my presents.
So-
The next
There we go.
is the state fees policy. This allows us to release fees for the state of Maine, which generally is just more vehicles. that we cut mid-period, but we thought it was before legally that law also authorizes one individual of the board to sign off on that. One, in the past, it has been the same as the payroll policy, the chair and then.
Yeah, that works for me. I mean, for me, since I'm local and I have such flexibility, like when he needs something, I can be here, so that I'm still fine with that. It works.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? That's everybody.
The next is the tax payment policy. This simply is requiring that people pay their oldest taxes first. It is what enables us to collect the oldest taxes first and maintain lean organization. That's simply a motion to sign, please.
So moved.
Second. Motion second, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's everybody.
And the final is a sewer payment policy related to the tax payment policy, oldest first. And what I failed to mention in the last one is the 10 days, 10 business days prior to the due date of any of those legal notices. We do require certified funds because we don't want soft money to pass bounce. And then we lost our window to lien or whatnot. So that is included in that as well. We will take a debit, but we will not take a credit on that. So discussion of years past because that's necessarily predatory for us to allow somebody who's in debt to go to
Get more in debt,
credit that is fairly
Really, the American way.
will not pay tax.
No, that's fine, I
I
understand.
mean, it sounds like it's still, they can kick their can down the road, we just wanna get paid, right?
And the sewer payment policy will be countersigned if approved this year by the commission.
So what do we just need a motion to?
Approved and signed.
So moved.
Motion second, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's everybody. Oh, yeah, we sign it. Did we sign those on the line? We're over here, yes.
You're gonna sign above the slab. Please.
And I swore, I apologize.
I didn't even catch it. Shows
I'm sure that did, so I'm sorry.
Two demerits.
I mean, it looks like a little owl. I feel like you should just have some AI where like every time one of us is swear goes, "Whoop," and just gives.
I saw two lines, this is, oh, we're on the wrong side, folks.
That's what it does when it fires up, actually.
Yeah. It does actually do.
Goes up.
Why can't you just whoop, whoop out our swears?
I hear it.
Viewership is already pretty high. I'm pretty sure if it started like owl hooting every time something colorful came out of our mouths, like. We'll go viral. Then, you know, like town can take all of its money from that. Chucky can be doing wonders and just say should TTI and cucumbers and it really ruins all of it when you take out the swear words for this thing.
Oh, man, that is a fantastic photo that he took too, by the way.
That, the tap bucket?
Yeah, I do like that.
That's 2 or 3 years old.
Oh, is it? That's the first time I had seen it.
Right, we have no public participation tonight.
They're taking it easy on us.
Oh,
You've got 2 likes, no ugly faces or anything like that, and
well,
sorry.
Okay.
must mean we're doing a good job.
Yeah, that must,
You know, we started it and all the feedback stopped.
I know.
Yeah.
they'll just attack us on the neighborhood watching.
I'm gonna go to the Skowhegan or something like that, if you want some serious public feedback.
I would take it, I would take it. I mean, like,
There's in the meeting, more people would watch it, and it probably would stop.
Honestly, I would rather them coming at me when I can address it versus they come up with something, it's completely, you know,
you can't-
nothing, and then like it snowballs like a game of like, and then all of a sudden, I'm now the most evil person in the world again, that's right.
Really,
Yeah.
other business? Board have anything for other business?
You can push gravel and about roads not being tied.
I was gonna bring that up too.
No, I'm not, no, I don't care, there's one guy about driving me crazy.
I've had a couple, actually. What's the process and timeframes for town powering dirt roads?
Road.
Yeah.
Which that?
I don't think he can, well,
Yeah, you're on the road, you're in trouble unless it's Bigelow.
yeah, but I mean, I don't think you should, but I mean, this guy thinks he's Jesus Christ, I think he was self-destruct.
What do you want to talk about the hill?
But
What road do you
I'm
want?
winding him,
Oh, so we,
but I mean, I don't think, Christ is better than it's ever been.
yeah, so it's difficult balance, but it's really the cost and benefit and. Winding Hill is far more achievable than Sandy River Road because you're not gonna pay a road that goes in the water. As
But I
often.
mean, you can't snap your fingers and do that this summer.
Why do you know the truck traffic won't kill it?
Yeah.
Correct. And then you look at the cost of Bigelow Hill at 2 miles. And then what it would cost you to start to get around the loop. And then, yeah, it's not great. Road committee does look at these gravel roads, they, look at some, there are some that are on the list. It's largely the ones that have good drainage, that you can keep good drainage on, like Oak Hill. Is one that's kind of on their remote radar because it's out on the edge of town, it's got good ditches, and washes out, is that
Yeah.
problem? Cool, but something like Wyman Hill, it's gonna be difficult to get good ditches on.
What about Tarbell? That was one of the other ones.
So Tarbell Hill, is the only reason I said that was because it's a heavy complaint road.
It seems like it's in decent shape, good ditching, I mean.
Yeah, it is a 10, so there is a 10-year plan, again, to, that's what Todd had mentioned, I mean. Road committee has a list, and
It goes beyond 10 years.
right, maybe we should have them come in and do a full or no.
3 or 4 months. Everybody's away right now, and this is when we're gonna, that's gonna get a whole overhaul because of the new data that we've got now.
Yeah,
All right, with the new.
and that could be good as like a send out to us versus like a in-person telling us, cause that could be.
You can't maintain, and it's difficult because Public Works largely maintains our gravel roads in the summer. And then we have the obligation to pay third party contractors largely to maintain our paved roads, and it's difficult to keep up with all of that. A road like Tarbell Hill, it's a high complaint road. And people don't wanna help with it, so one of our biggest issues right now is an inability to turn around. We've offered people compensation for easements and things like that, and you just get a gain. And then they would complain that, they're having to take a 12-point turn to get turned around down there. It's like, well, if we could just turn around in your driveway, if we could build a turnaround, it wouldn't, so. It's just kind of one of those ones where is it ever gonna be worth the money are we ever gonna be able to sell $1 million, what are we gonna have to pay Tarbell though?
Yeah, it sounds bad, but what is there, 10 houses on
I don't, right.
It's low, it's like Red Barn, I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever paid it.
No, but we could take a shit.
I don't think the residents really want that one. To be honest,
Some
with
of
you, I like
my,
it.
it's a full loop thing, but I'm not here to fight for that.
No,
I just get sick of this, listen, like.
I was just curious on how the process was to come about doing it.
There's no process to do it, you can petition anything you want, with 10% of the voters that participated in the last gubernatorial election, or 20%, 156 signatures, and you can get anything required on a ballot.
Yeah.
It's for the funding mechanism and the long-term feasibility of it. And there's also just the realistic, what is the area look like that you wanna deal with, so Wyoming Hill, how are you gonna get ditches in out there? Well, you can get them here, and you can get them there, but you're gonna be sitting in water in some of those places unless you build it up and, I don't even know what the estimated cost would be to.
Yeah, anytime I hear water, I'm just like, oh, what's the engineering cost? I'm not gonna be now, I'm like.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not gonna say.
Oh, thank you, Chucky.
Reach that to the fact.
Oh, I'm not gonna get the town.
Chucky.
I think that going up there, I don't think, thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than it ever was.
Our state roads are way worse, River Road, you get air on all 4 tires and your road bottoms.
But, yeah.
It's way worse than our town roads.
But I mean, I don't think that. In the next 20 years that every road in Norridgewock can be paved, I think before they were like, well, yeah.
Well, we're getting down there in roads that are dirt roads still, I think we only have 3 or 4 total.
Well, we got, Oak Hill, Nickerson, Sandy River, up on Long Hill, Balmazy.
I love that we have some dirt roads still though. I mean.
Yeah, and that's what's actually Mrs. Walker, you say that all the time,
You got quite a lot.
that it's nice to have some dirt roads.
Yeah.
That will leave us with making that choice, I know we've talked about the grader, but we'll have to look at that when it finally fails, whether we buy a new grader or we start farming it out. Or we pay them. Those are the choices we will have to make in the next year or two.
If you can buy a brand new grader, out of the box, the less than what you're gonna even think about paying.
Yeah. And like on our like public works, they do an awesome job when they go down when, I know that like it's selfish, but like for going down doggy daycare road, was at Bigelow, like they do such a good job. And I can make one comment and those guys are down there like the next damn day and they like waving as I go by, like they take care of our kids.
Right on the other end of the great.
Guys, waving at the state roads, like, I mean, you were.
I know what that.
They do a wicked good job, so like, I would rather trust them
They
than.
struggle.
Hey.
And I don't know if it was recent training or a new operator, our grading has gotten substantially better.
But I mean,
Yeah, they
You
do a
can
really
really
good
mess
job.
up a road with grading,
I-
it's fast,
Yes.
fixed.
Well, I think we had someone who did do it.
Far better.
but I mean, we got chronic bitches.
Yeah.
Couple of them.
Woo-hoo. It's not me today, everybody, it's not me.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Anything else for?
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, back to the fire department.
Yes.
Alrighty,
Oh, he's leaving now.
Right.
get a better seat.
Lindsay, she brought up a pretty good point amongst other conversations here tonight. The ability to do a ride along.
Mhm.
You know, for a call or something like that, is that something that for a town employee you could offer safely? For the type of call, I guess, maybe.
Yes, that's generally not a problem. It's gonna come down to your insurance that you carry on us.
Yeah,
So that's, I'm gonna push the question back to you, that's on that. And you're always looking for a ride, like a scheduled thing.
You can.
The problem with a ride, I'll take you tonight, if you wanna go for a ride tonight. The problem with going on an emergency call is I'm gonna,
when's the tone off?
Yeah.
can you be there in 18 seconds, please?
Yeah.
Because we're leaving, with or without you. That's the problem with that. Now, you're welcome to come down and hang out for a couple hours any given day and hope you get a call, but can't guarantee that.
Maybe get somebody to crack call.
But as long as the town is happy with the insurance, I'm.
For other town employees.
On that note, on a side note, I think what you're talking about, not necessarily knowing what's in each department, do we do a field trip at some point to each, to the fire department? To
My last field trip was
to
awesome.
the highway to see.
I got the Jaws of Black stuff, and that was amazing.
All on the same page, to know.
Yeah, how many's been inside the waste treatment?
I think there's a lot of big.
Stuff that take.
Yeah, it's on us, like,
Is that a feasible?
I mean, roll on the back of fire truck.
we should, because we're making decisions on their budgets, and like, I remember going on the airport one, I remember you took me on, and it helped me understand it, but. Not having an understanding, it makes it harder to be like partial or impartial or completely neutral on something, if I just don't get, you know. Like, don't you have 7 other trucks there, you can't take one of those? I don't know that unless I've been like, no, we're taking this one for that one, and this person goes, no, like, and I don't. Since I don't get that, I don't have the actual like, oh, that's okay, that's why, and. I mean, maybe it's, you can tell me, but I'm always like, more of a look and see than a read it in a packet type of gal.
You're really responsible.
Right, what do you think? What do you think?
I will offer you every building in the form of a public meeting except for the wastewater facility. Where I think our risk for exposure is too significant. And then at that point in time, we can offer you individual or group tours without a quorum. It's the commissioners have done it and it makes me uncomfortable because if a group of people show up, then I'm gonna take them to the facility too. As a part of that meeting, so, and I also have public access with stairs and things at that facility, but. I was gonna ask the chief if he'd be willing to host another meeting over there
Absolutely.
on April 15th tentatively. If we could,
Would that maybe coincide with the awarding of?
it maybe just would, but it also would. Well, I was gonna talk.
Yeah, right.
I was going to bump it. I was going to bump it up to the first, it could be 2 meetings out, but I have a public award. That Bigelow Hill project, the location for that meeting is already published over here.
And then. Bid awards for that. May be published too, so just be mindful of it.
It doesn't say that it's gonna be at the,
I don't think there's a public opening, I do not.
Gonna hardly make a statement.
anyway, so I think if we can look at.
Yeah.
Look at the availability and maybe we'll even look at coordinating like open at 5 o'clock.
Like, what if you did a open house 5 o'clock? Make that a public meeting so the public could join if they want.
Exactly.
And then I can take you through and show you what you want to see. And then the meeting convenes at 6, and I don't think that falls afoul of any rules or laws, right? So-
No, that's what my idea would be, and then I can. We'll get Public Works cleaned up. I think honestly, Public Works is one of the most important buildings that you need to see.
Right.
It's half new and it's half really old. We talk about trucks that get beat up. Trucks that get beat up with pretty good mileage on them are up there. We just paid $10,000, $12,000, $14,000 tonight in repairing two trucks that are 9 or 10 years old. You talk about how much money you're gonna throw on a vehicle before, I think it'd give you a pretty good perspective as to what
Yeah.
goes on.
I think that's maybe what we're missing, like, I think that we're making a lot of decisions.
But I really like to make sure I have the capacity to take the owl with us. So that folks can see and follow along, so.
And obviously, we have a good internet for that, so I just want. I've been using it with it.
So that's the reason that we can, maybe once a month,
Good idea.
don't wanna lose track of this place, but maybe we do once a month.
Yeah.
Until we
And I don't feel like put you like on the spot, I just, more and more, it's like, I don't understand where you're coming from necessarily, and I'm only coming from my own experience and my.
I am an open book, and
Yeah.
I will take you over there right now if you want to go. And I am always confident that I don't need to sweep the floors and wash the windows first, because they're already swept.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I do. You have to just be careful with employee stuff, but
Yeah.
if you call the firehouse and say, hey, is it okay if I stop over in 10 minutes with
Yeah.
the girls? That's a thing, and those boys will welcome you.
I would probably say, can we pick you up in a fire truck?
Be like,
Right.
oh my god, yes.
So, anyway, and I think that's important, and we'll work on the facility tours and hopefully the public wants to be part of it.
Yeah, excellent.
All right, good, I appreciate everyone working with that, like, I know that's kind of like a weird ask, I just.
Absolutely,
I understand it better.
if you don't see it from time to time, and all you do is sit here and prove this and prove that.
Hmm.
It's like, well, they got like 8 trucks now, right?
It just takes. the
Right,
pressure off
and
when
you
you grab
don't,
it.
you don't necessarily know.
Yeah, it just becomes a dollar sign and not like a
Right.
resource thing to me, and I'm feeling myself getting to that, and so I feel like I need to check myself a little bit on that, cause I'm just seeing balance sheets and not like.
Yeah, well, were any of you here with the addition going on, the public works?
Oh, that's,
No, it's, I think it's even before me, and what have I been
It
here,
was
6
before
years? Yeah,
Yeah, okay, that was quite, yeah, yeah.
that's 15 years old.
And the fire station opened both the time he started,
yeah.
right? So
Hmm.
it does surprise you, but that building is 10+ years old now.
But only because it's great, you have a comment and it's 2 owl emojis.
See?
It's catching.
I want you fire ones now. All right,
That's perfect. Anything else for other business? Do
so I will,
we want to talk about the ethics piece and where it's applicable and how it will be applied to stuff, or is that not for this?
It's not for this, I would strongly encourage you all to read this thoroughly, take a highlighter, take one of your fidget pens, mark it up, and we will very likely. Put it on the agenda for the next meeting. For discussion as to what this board's expectations will be for the application of that, it will not be specific to any. Individual employee or committee member at that point in time. We're strictly looking for, what are you looking for bumpers on that and how we're gonna see it for us. Is that vague but specific enough?
I think everybody got the gist of that.
The other thing I'm gonna bring up, if nobody else did, was I had a number of calls, emails, texts and visits about panhandling.
Oh, man, yeah, holy forgot that.
where is it? I haven't seen it, where is it happening in Norridgewock?
On the monument.
On monument.
Oh, it's a dangerous spot to be hanging out, I mean,
Yes, it is.
So,
we're not allowed to legally. Stop someone from doing that, right?
well, so my initial research. City of Portland, City of Bangor both put in ordinances, regulations to prohibit. The ACLU obviously went after them as big targets and they won. It's a violation of your First Amendment rights. You have the right to free speech.
Mhm.
That's free speech holding your cardboard sign. You can't step out into traffic, but that's a sheriff's thing. That's not really a town thing. There appears to be traction. If you ban all signage. In an area, you can also ban panhandlers. So you would ban, and. I'm not supposed to say this, it's the third time I've said that tonight, but is it really appropriate that we have signs on that monument anyway?
Political, any sign, I don't.
And then you might make the argument that that could be the most beautiful intersection that you have in town. Everybody sits at that intersection, and do you really want that intersection plastered with yard sale signs, political signs, or anything else? So that's the only way that you can address panhandling is to ban everything in the location that you also.
So what does have to go,
I was just, where they're gonna go, they're not gonna go away.
we have to move to a different.
I thought,
Across.
as long as you're not standing in that intersection. But no one's standing on the side of the road, stand on the side of the road, don't stand in that
They
intersection.
go across the river and then stand in that little island when the cars come to stop.
I look at it in, I don't wanna be insensitive and make assumptions, but I'm gonna probably do just that. And that is that I think this was opportunistic individual who had plenty. You know, from what I can track back, they had a pickup truck with a plow on the front and we're looking for $80. Seems to me if you have a pickup truck with a plow, you can make $80 pretty quick.
No, okay.
But it was on Fridays and it was on Sundays. And you wouldn't think that there'd be traffic coming through here, but we have a high volume of arguably high-end traffic on Fridays and Sundays.
Oh, going to
People
Sugar
coming into the
Yeah.
mountains. And that's where this person was positioned.
But I mean, but that's really never been a big problem in town.
It's not until it is, John.
Right, and it's
definitely get there.
better to be throwaway, yeah, than react.
Yeah.
We got, I mean, I got called, and of course it was, one was a Friday, which was fine, but then it was Sunday when they reappeared, but. Think about that too, I think it will probably appear on the next agenda as well. Do you want to look at regulated panhandling, and if you are, then. Are you willing to go the full step of saying no signs in this area? And that might be a good thing to throw out in public, because it will come in the form of an ordinance.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I'm going a little bit back.
Let's go up anyone like, you know, the girl got or anything.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, it's like, you know, all this public
Just
suffrage and that type of
just
stuff,
want to ask.
yeah.
To do our thing again on Easter, which I think I was supposed to ask at this meeting, because it's a 30-day window, right? What do we require for a lead time for those permits to a nonprofit?
Keep going and then I'll circle back to that. You just wanna.
Okay, so the Sportsman's Club is looking to do, if you remember, 2 years ago, we did the Easter Bunny and side by side. At the end of the bridge. We had blockades and we came and got our permit and we're allowed to. I don't think Todd's been asked yet, but we might try to take that side by side down there because of its lights. And park it there just as a safety thing, and one of the firemen is now our vice president, as a fundraiser, but we would come in and get the permit to do so. So I mean, I guess it's a sort of panhandling, but it's for
Yeah.
a local nonprofit, and we're set up in a step.
Conversation with
I
them.
would consider that definitely, town gets, they do all the time.
Yes, that was actually discussed in our club was the amount, last weekend and the weekend before that they just had. Those tend to be one of our more lucrative, fundraisers.
So I hate those things,
You'll come for that. I think I was supposed to have everything ready for this meeting, but I did not.
I. Already communicated with the club about that, but
Oh,
no, it's just a lead time and you need to contact the sheriff's office. Because I don't think we handled the Sportsman's Association in a way that was. Fluid and consistent the last time. It wasn't until the Maine Leatherneck group came in, the naval, I think it was Navy folks. Maybe it was, it's Marines and I'm sorry. Right,
they're a division of the Navy,
I
but like, it's, the
don't think they are they?
Marines are a division of the Navy.
I didn't mean to put that in there. Thank you for your service. We set out a criteria of expectations, ages, locations, why they were located. You've got to talk to the sheriff, you've got to have advanced signage. It would force them to be located on the south side of the bridge, so if somebody came and stormed through, they had even an escape to the sides. So those conditions are the same moving forward, I would imagine, but the request will still come to the board. And I would make the argument that that would be illegal in whatever zone
That
you
was
set
Like,
is a restriction. Because it is good for the goose, you know?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
totally, right, I wouldn't want to be up at this intersection, that's the
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I think that's something that's got a lot of discussion behind it. The panhandling aspect. And whether people like to see it or don't like to see it.
You just got it, just never heard any positives.
I mean, it's a nuisance in Waterville.
Maybe if they don't get
Yes.
anything, they'll just go away, if it is.
Yards of political signs, Girl Scout signs, if they have those anymore. And any signage would be banned.
I feel like it can get some information from those things though, like I can't, I mean,
I don't wanna see him on the monument, I don't wanna see him in the islands, I don't care who's on them, I don't.
Scott, we get an ordinance already on theirs.
there's the
I think
Walmart
one
right there.
there used to be a thing that if they had to step off the sidewalk into the street to get it, we were to move them along.
But then around at Walmart all the time.
We could get permission like for field hockey to be in the Walmart one, but we're on the side of something.
Vehicles to get the money, the panhandling part,
Mhm.
we moved them, we were instructed to move them, I'm trying to think of how they.
People's.
Yes.
Yeah,
So that's just I don't think that requires ordinance anyway, I think that's a safety, general law enforcement, yeah.
No, it didn't fall into that, it was specific, because we were given, it may even fall under obstructing the flow of traffic,
That's what, right,
yeah,
obstructing a public way.
right, which isn't,
Holding up
right.
traffic or something.
because that's what we would, was that we could call. And it's like, okay, well, by the time I divert resources from some other place to give them a warning, you're not gonna cite somebody. Unless it's the fourth time I'm over there.
We can think about that on that end of it as well.
I mean, look like that, but they're right down Route 2, comes down and swings there right into the river. They're there all the time on that island.
Yeah. So hopefully we can put something together to at least limit it, or give these guys some.
Down there, Road Scout, and then I'm scouting. That's what Jesus, I scared the shit out of me one day, they got that, put it in the window.
Al's coming back.
yeah.
Sure. Okay,
So we'll fund the next truck.
so I guess give us some thought, these guys will look on both their ends and see what we can come up with. Thank you for remembering.
I'm not gonna draft anything, I'll do a little bit of research, but what my ask to do is. You can't just ban panhandlers. So you and your constituents just put you back into office, and we just had a failed vote on an ordinance that should have easily passed.
Yeah.
Start talking to people about this, it's 5 of you, there's only one of me. To see if people would be open to that idea, because if not, we're wasting our time talking about it.
Yeah.
Are you willing to give up your political signs in your yard, so this intersection over here?
So you say that, and then someone comes in there and puts up 20 kind of signs, and so who's gonna go pull them up?
Probably the town crew would go
Yeah.
grab them and pull them,
Right,
and then they would be reported to whoever is on the sign, that their signs are being placed where they're not supposed to be.
they have to be labeled, and unless we have an ordinance, we have to call the people that own them to move them. Or it's a violation of their First Amendment, right?
But with the ordinance, we can, right?
Sounds like a lot of work. There's, no one give them any money and they'll go away. I
Which that was the case.
mean, I honestly haven't seen it, like that's to say it's not there.
I almost gave him $80 to leave.
I feel like that is a bad plan.
Yeah. But I didn't. Okay, anything else for the board? Anything else for you?
No.
Are we good?
Then I will make a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second, discussion, all in favor? Everybody.